everybody. You're probably wondering why I'm ringing a bell. Well, I'm ringing in National Poetry Month. And today is April 20th, and I have a great book to share with you today. It's a rhyming book, and it's very clever. And it's called Cattail, written by Michael Hall, who also illustrated this book. And I'm excited to share it with you. But before I do, I think I better explain a few things. So, there was another reason why I was ringing that bell. And it's actually to demonstrate what our book today is about. So, I can ring the bell, or I can wear a ring. The words sound alike, but they have different meanings. So we call these kinds of words homonyms. Homonym. Can you say homonym? Yes. And this book by Michael Hall is a book that is written in homonyms and another type of homonym called a homophone. It's so clever. You might remember last time I read a book that was written completely in the style called haiku. But now this is another interesting way to write poetry. And here's another example of what I mean by a homonym. You might see on my shirt, it says, libraries rock, which means libraries are awesome. But then another meaning for the word rock is a rock, something you can pick up and hold or see outside, rocks. So libraries rock, cool, or you can rock and roll, or you can rock a baby, or you can have a rock. That's another example of a homonym. Another really good example of a homonym is the word spring. And we've been reading lots of poetry about this time of year, the season of spring. And so spring is a season. It's the name of a season. But spring can also be an area where water comes up out of the ground. It bubbles up out of the ground, and it's a water source. So that is a spring. And then there's another meaning for the word spring, and I think we might have heard it in one of our poems. To spring means to leap or jump with lots of joy. To spring, or welcome spring. So those are some examples of homonyms. And so that's what we're going to hear a lot of in our book today. There's another type of a homonym. I don't want to tell you too much, but there's another type called a homophone. It's a type of homonym, and an example would be the word red, like the color red. This is kind of a red. You know the color red, I'm sure. But another meaning for the word red, and it's spelled differently, but it sounds the same, is today we read the book Cattail. So that's an example of a homophone, and that is a type of homonym. Okay, let's read the book. This is Cattail. And maybe after I'm finished, I'll go through, well, I'll just show you a couple examples so you see what's happening with this, and then afterwards you might want to play through this more than once if you're a bigger kid, just to figure out what these homonyms are doing and what they are. So this is Cattail by Michael Hall, and I'll just tell you that well, it says right here, from word to word they find their way, Lillian, Tilly, and William J. So the main characters in our poem story today are three cats, Lillian, Tilly, and William J. So here they are, our three cats, and I don't know who is who, but it begins like this. They pack some books and kitty chews. So books and kitty chews are something the kitties might want to eat. Kitty kibble. We learned that word last time too, didn't we? Then they choose a spot and they spot some ewes. Okay, maybe some of you are catching on to what's happening here, but I'm just going to go back. So they choose, meaning they pick a place. They choose, they select. It's a choice. But over here we had the word choose as in kitty chews. So they sound alike, don't they? And these are actually spelled differently, so these are actually homophones, but they're also homonyms. So they pack some books and kitty chews. They choose a spot. They spot some ewes. Let's just do one more together. So they choose a spot, so meaning a place, but then they spot some ewes, meaning they notice or see or spy. They spot some ewes, and ewes are girl sheep. All right. Okay. All right. Let's keep going here. They use a box to hide from bees. They do their best to box some fleas. They flee a steer. In this case, flee means to run. They steer a plane, or they drive the plane. But back here, they flee, meaning they run away from a steer, which is a big cow, a male cow. They steer a plane. They plane a board. So here they're working on sanding a board, scraping wood off the surface of the board. They plane a board, so you probably catch that word plane. And they board a plane. Oh, well, no, that one was really interesting. Plane a board, board a plane. They train a duck to duck a shoe. Duck and duck. They shoe a truly naughty new shoe, or shoe. See it? Isn't that cool? Now this is where it gets crazy. They knew a rock could squash a berry. No, no, no. They know a rock can squash a berry. They use a rock to squash a berry? No. They use a squash to bury a rock? They pause. They use their paws to rock a squash berry. Rock a squash berry? I don't know about you, but I'm really confused. They use their paws to shoe a train. No. They use a shoe to steer a box. No. They use a box to steer a steer. No, no, no. My head is spinning. Oh dear, the words are jumbled. They've lost their way. Lillian, Tilly, and William J. How can these cats get back on track in this silly little cat? Here comes one. Tail. Tail is like a story, but tail is also the end of a cat's body. Hey, whoa, there they go. Now they tail a bear, meaning they chase a bear. They tail the bear, and there's the bear's tail. They tell a tale of a bear. They bear some hail. They suffer through hail, a hailstorm. They hail a giant purple whale. Over here, over here. That's how you hail something. From word to word, they find their way. Lillian Tilly and William J. The end. Whew, that was exhausting. Wow. I could go back through and show you some of these, but I think maybe if you play through it again and again, you'll catch some. And I hope you have a little fun with Cattail by Michael Hall.